Hey gang, Sean for the Good Dog. How are we doing? I feel like so color coordinated here. Miss, sorry. Maybe that's why she's trying to bite me. Miss Mozzie, over there. Come along. It's been an extra week with Uncle Sean. Um, Guys, real quick, I want to chat about dog trainers prioritizing dogs over owners, right? It's an interesting thing. And the dog training world, I don't need to tell you, if you follow us, it's crazy and wild and divided, and like it is really kind of a nutso land out there. And I don't mean people are nutso, I just mean like the conflicts and the ideologies, and like it's nuts that this field, this industry has so much crazy conflict and like diametrically opposed, views and beliefs and blah 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 blah. Anyways, one of the things that I was talking with Henri, we were working with a dog yesterday, and we were walking and we were talking, and I was saying, what originally drew me to Jeff Gellman when his radio show was on, and it was one of the few places you could like hear a really different opinion than what was kind of typically being presented. And what I loved most about what Jeff was sharing, Jeff's gonna love this post. Like, yeah. What I loved most about what Jeff was sharing was that, one, it was a very unpopular kind of angle, right? Basically, Jeff was not totally well, he was in a very pure positive, or still is in a very pure positive kind of environment, so like he had a lot of friction, and so I give him a lot of credit for having the guts, having the balls to stand up and actually speak his truth and speak his mind of what he believed in. But what I loved most about it was that Jeff was prioritizing owners. Not that he didn't care about the dogs. Jeff loves dogs. He's got oodles of them. But his priority was always on the owners. It was always like, it was the missing piece that so many trainers, like, they know they've got to train the owners, and they know they've got to empower the owners, but the intent or the space they come from emotionally is so dog-centric rather than human-centric that, of course, we've got our chainsaw over there. Usually it's over there. Today it's over there. To me, that's such a huge freaking distinction, and I see it materializing in so many different ways in people's methodologies and their approaches with dogs and their tool choices with dogs. The dogs end up getting more focus, more concern, more care, more effort, more love than the humans do. And Jeff was the first person that actually acknowledged, like, yeah, somebody who's working 8-9 hours a day comes home, his dog's crazy, and they're working with the dog, like, they don't have 12 hours to become dog trainers. They've got to be able to find a way to incorporate the dog into their life. That doesn't mean you get to be lazy and not work with your dog, and doesn't mean you get to just take shortcuts, and that wasn't what Jeff was professing. But just the concept of reality being like, if we're trying to keep these dogs in our home, we have to find answers. We have to find answers that work within a realistic lifestyle. Some people are dog enthusiasts and they want to spend 8 hours, or they can spend 8 hours like working with their dog every day. But most people can't. Most people need to find answers both in a fairly timely fashion, and then answers that work within their lifestyle to where it can be incorporated in a realistic sense, to where they can do their job, make dinner, and go to the soccer game with the kids, and actually talk to their husband or their wife and all that stuff. And so Jeff was the first person I really heard prioritizing human beings as it was a really like novel approach to be like, yeah, they matter. Human beings being able to like tell their dog no, to have their dog like stop jumping on them like immediately, to prioritize their safety and their health over like the dog. Not that the dog wasn't important, but like human beings, like human beings first. Like, let's make sure they're okay. And it was completely the opposite. And for the most part, it kind of still is. People know they've got to empower owners, and they've got to teach them, and they've got to train them. But when you listen to a lot of dog trainers, their methodology, it betrays them. Their methodology, their tools, their approach, and even their dialogue and what they speak about, what they post about, things like that. I think it really betrays their true kind of core intent, feelings, and where their real affiliation lies. And their affiliation tends to lie more with the dogs than it does with the humans. And this is a real common theme in the dog training world. A lot of people gravitate towards dog training because they have a hard time with human beings. They don't like human beings, they resent them, they feel like they've been done wrong, they've had bad things done to them, they've got unresolved hurts, pains, traumas, whatever. Dogs are their only safe place. You've heard me talk about this. Dogs are a place to, get, to share love safely and receive love safely. They're always happy to see you. I always want to call it unrequited love, and it's not unrequited love. Unconditional. I can never think of it when I need it. Could be unrequited, but this unconditional love thing. And so a lot of people that gravitate towards the dog world have problems with human beings, and they may be conscious of it, they may be unconscious of it, they may be a little bit of both. But what I see is that their hand is tipped by the tools they want to use, the approach and methodology they want to use, the way they prioritize the training, and then oftentimes just their wording, their talking down to people, their criticizing people, their hard-timing people. There's kind of like a owner hatred thing that goes on that's really unfortunate. And so it was something that was really, really interesting as we were talking, me and Henri were talking about it, and it just dawned on me, it's one of the things that puts us at odds, the TGD crew at odds with a lot of trainers, is that we prioritize owners. Yes, we want the dogs to do well, but they're under the owners. We want the owners to do really well. We want the owners to be really safe. We want the owners to be really comfortable. We want the owners to feel empowered. We want the owners to have a nice life. And we know if that goes on and we do things right, the dog's gonna do well too. The dog's gonna have a great life. The dog's gonna get to stay in the home. The dog's gonna get to be incorporated more and be more included in the owner's life. But our job is to find out how to do that, how to make that happen. And so for us, because our intent, where it comes from, I think is in opposition to a lot of trainers. Not all. If you're one of those trainers that are like, man, I'm so down for empowering people, and not just I want to teach owners how to do a good job, but care, love, concern, empathy for humans. If you're one of those, awesome. Kudos to you. If you're not, it's something to think about. And I think it's going to affect a lot of how you approach the dogs, the training, and also your success. So people are like, why do you have a prong collar and an e-collar on a dog? That seems like overkill. Well, and they'll say if the dog was highly trained, you wouldn't need that stuff. Well, it's not because we don't know how to train without it, or I couldn't walk a dog without a prong collar and just on e-collar or something, or just a prong collar. I could, but the goal is for our owners to be safe. The goal is for an owner to be able to take their dog anywhere, and a cat runs out in front of their dog, and even though the dog's e-collar trained, the owner doesn't see the cat in time, and instead of the dog being on a martingale or whatever they might be on along with the e-collar, and then pulling the owner off their feet, or pulling their arm out of the socket, or pulling the leash out of their hand, or pulling them into the street, or actually pulling them towards another dog, and you know what I mean? So everything we do is owner-centric and success-centric. We want the dogs to do really, really, I keep looking at Mousy, we want the dogs to do really, really well, of course, but the priority starts with the owners, and then everything comes underneath that. So we don't prioritize the dog's got to be happy and bouncy and jovial at the cost of the owners being able to have a safe dog. Right? So if you see us and we've got dogs and they're looking they're chilled out and they're quiet and they're calm, there's probably a good reason. Probably because that dog needs that. And it's probably because that dog needs to be able to do that in the home, around kids, around the owner, around guests, and mind its manners. So we're conditioning and patterning. It's not to break dogs down. It's not to beat dogs up. It's not to like steal their spirit. It's to infuse them with another side of the coin, the calm, relaxed, chilled out part, so owners can enjoy them. So owners can have a life too. So they can have their family over, so their kids can play. So all that stuff can go down. Everything that we've done and built into our system and approach and tools and methodology is owner-centric. And like I said, I think that puts us at odds with a lot of other trainers. I've listened to podcasts and I've watched videos and I've read blogs and all this stuff, and typically what I hear over and over again is dog-centric, dog-centric, dog-centric. How can we do this, this, and this? But it's so little emphasis put on like owner-centric, owner-centric, owner-centric. How do we make this easier for them? How do we make it to where they have a better shot at keeping the dog in the house, to where they feel more safe, to where they feel more empowered, to where they feel happy about their relationship with their dog because they can enjoy their dog and they've got some empowerment, right? So a lot of people don't want to use e-collars, don't want to use prong collars, don't want to use... We use them because they're the best thing for owners, not because we can't like work with the dog without it. I used to do no tools at all back in the day, right? I know how to do that stuff. The problem is that owners, even with a ton of training, couldn't do it because they're not freaking dog ninjas. That's not what they're here doing. They're living normal lives that are not dog ninja lives. And so they need tools that help them, and they need approaches that help them. They need methodologies that help them. They need patterning and programming and all this other stuff that you put into the dog to help them. So when you see e-collars, prong collars, a lot of like duration work, slowing the dog down, relaxing the dog, all of that stuff, holding the dog accountable, teaching the dog like accountability, firm rules. It's all so the owners can have a dog they love and enjoy, because we know the dog's gonna do great. Like once the dog goes home, like then the dog's world starts to expand, right? Now they've got all this other good stuff. They get to be included in the home. They get to be included around guests and family and stuff like that, so they have a happier life. They get to go on walks that go all over the place. They get to go on hikes because now they're off-leash trained and they're reliable. They get to be around people and things that they normally couldn't be around, so they're not locked away and put in crates and stuff like that. So all of these things, there's a method to our madness, and that method is so these dogs get a better life, but it starts with the owner. It starts with the owner, and then it moves down to the dogs. And the thing is, when I hear people talk about like, oh, the dogs are sad, or the dogs are slow, or the dogs are this, or the dogs are that, do you know how easy it is to get dogs like to be like peppy and amped up and run around and crazy? Guys, like that's the easy stuff. In case you don't know, like getting dogs to be calm and chilled and relaxed around their owners, like at go-home sessions, that's the hard stuff. Like, you get that? That's the hard stuff. Then you're starting to pattern a dog how to have impulse control in the face of excitement and arousal. The other stuff, piece of cake. Like, that's why we typically, like, we never used to even show, like, play stuff, because we're like, we assumed everybody knew that was the easy stuff. Like, of course play stuff's easy. Like, we can get dogs to run around here and look like goofballs all day long. But can we get a dog that's dangerous, has arousal issues, impulse control issues, to be calm and chilled out and relaxed? That was always the challenge, and so that's what we showed more of. Once again, owner-centric, owner-centric. Not that we don't care about the dogs, not that we don't want the dogs to be happy. We know that's going to be the easy part. The hard part is getting the control, the impulse control, the reliability, the good attitude, the polite, courteous, well-behaved dog. That's the hard stuff. And that stuff is owner-centric. And if you're talking to a trainer and all they want and all they're talking about is like making sure your dog's a happy dog, there's probably a good chance they're missing out on some really important components, right? A happy dog is awesome, but a happy dog's easy. Happy dog, like, that should not be a hard part of your equation. The hard part is calm, quiet, polite, courteous, safe, reliable, dependable dog. That's the hard part. And that's the owner-centric part. That's when owners are like, ah, I love my dog because I can do all this stuff with him and he's dependable and reliable and safe and courteous and blah, blah, blah. Like the play, easy peasy. So anyways, just something I wanted to share with you guys. It's something that as a consumer, if I was you, I would be looking to explore when I'm searching for a dog trainer. Like really try and get a feel. Don't ask them like, where does your heart lie? Are you owner-centric or dog? Because they can be like, well, I care about you and I want you to be, do well, and I want your dog to do well. Look for clues, look for their methodology, look for their approach, look for what they say in their website or on their website and in their videos. What is it talking about? Where are their priorities? You'll see it. There's themes. When people put out content, there's themes that are important to them. And if Mozzie. If those themes are important, they'll be recurring, right? So if you're not hearing about like why certain tools are used or methodologies or approaches or why certain things are important to infuse into a training program and keep it easy and simple, right? Like that's why we don't have a million commands. We don't teach dogs a million commands because we want it to be easy for owners, right? We trim away all the fat, all that stuff, just make it easy. Make it easy so normal, non-dog ninja folks can enjoy their dogs and have a great life with them. And that means if that's going down, you know those dogs are gonna have a great life too. Once again, that's the easy part. So anyways, so check on that. Be looking for trainers that are owner-centric because they're gonna be the ones looking out for you, ensuring that you're getting the best advantages and empowerment and coaching and methodology that's built to make sure and ensure that you have the most success you can with your dog. And if they don't, and if all they're talking about is the dog, it's something to really, really, really think about, because that means they're not thinking about you. And that means that their tools, methodology, and approach is going to prioritize the dog. And that means you're not going to be prioritized, and that means there's a good chance that you're going to struggle with a dog that's like really happy, but might be missing some other valuable components. This is not a, blanket statement. There's trainers, awesome trainers, making happy dogs that have both sides of the coin. Just make sure they have both sides of the coin, but check in about where are their priorities. Where's the intent? Are they owner-centric or dog-centric? It'd be a really important one for me now that I know what I know. If I was looking for a trainer, I'd be looking for a really kind, dog-loving, owner-centric trainer. That's what I'd be looking for. So anyways, that was a little gift from Jeff Gelman. I remember him sharing that stuff and how valuable that was for me to have somebody actually say it out loud and be like, oh, it's okay to say like, yeah, put your dog away and enjoy like human time, and you know what I mean? Like you don't need to spend 8 hours training. And I was like, oh wow, like here's somebody speaking about reality, and here's somebody speaking about prioritizing the humans. Imagine that. Like, so anyways, I hope this is helpful. Any questions? This is not a bash on any trainer or anything like that. It's really a check-in for owners to what they should be looking for. And trainers, if you are watching this and you find that you're like, if you own up and you're like, I'm a human hater, or I'm not big on people, you'll hear the thing like, dogs are easy, it's the people that are hard. All sorts of different like dog trainer sayings like, oh, I love working with the dogs, I hate working with the people. That's a problem, guys. That's a real problem. If you're not excited about helping people, you're in the wrong gig. You should just be training dogs for like performance and stuff like that, not training dogs to succeed with humans. That's the thing, right? So if human beings aren't high on your list of like valuable things that you want to help, you might want to like look into just like dog performance stuff. Get out of the pet dog world. Anyways, I don't want to piss anybody off, but that's the truth, guys. My arm hurts. I'm gonna check out. We've got an incoming pitty, and I'm gonna go take care of him. Hopefully this is helpful and not just too ranty. All right, talk to you guys later.